Welcome, TEI family, to another episode of The Everyday Investor. Today we have a very special guest with us. This gentleman is what I call a subject matter expert in human resources, also known as HR. He has invested in himself over the years, despite facing adversity, and has come out sharper and a better businessman as a result of it. Please help me welcome Scott Hannes. How's it going, Scott?
Good. How you doing, David?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for kind of giving me some time here this morning. I know we were talking a little bit offline, and the point of this kind of podcast and kind of what I'm trying to do is, again, invest in skills, money, and assets. I'm, trying to get the audience to understand to invest in themselves, to earn one or more skills to increase their earning potential, and then use that increased earning potential to, get involved in assets or purchase assets such as real estate, such as stocks or bonds, and or even like you have, start your own business. I'm excited today just because a lot of times, when I talk to a subject matter expert, they may work for another company as opposed to having their own thing going on. So you kind of hit two pieces of the puzzle in terms of being a subject matter expert in human resources, but also have your own business, so you can talk, about your experience with being a subject matter expert while also owning your business. And again, I'm excited because you're the real deal. Formerly a vice president of, a nice size company to the point where you had, 1,200 or around 1,200 employees who reported to you in some form or fashion. And you have, currently own your own company, Fortitude HR Solutions. So again, I want to talk about all that. But again, I like to start at the beginning. Growing up, being from Cleveland, how was life growing up? Did you come from a wealthy family? Did you come from a lower class, middle class family? How was life growing up in Cleveland for you?
Yeah. So first of all, David, super excited to talk with you. Glad we got to reconnect.
Absolutely.
So super stoked to be here. And so I'm going to try to add as much value as I can today. So thanks so much for having me.
No problem.
So I'm born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. I would not say we were like poor, but we were probably lower, like on the wealth status. My mom and dad, I'm very fortunate to have mom and dad, but my dad lost his job 3 different times growing up. So finances were always like tough for the family, and bankruptcies, thoughts were always had. So part of my story is, when my dad lost his job for the 3rd time, I was 13 years old. I remember my parents talking about, hey, we may lose the house, like we can't pay bills. And I'm like, all right, what can I do? And so I remember 13. Yeah.
Wow.
So I've always been probably way more mature for my age than I should be. My parents did an amazing job raising me, always loved and supported me. And so I wanted to do something to help them. And so this is where some darkness talks about, like with adversity, right? Because we talked about before the ups and downs. And being 13, I got a job at a sports card shop. And I love sports. And not as gifted athletically as David is here, but I love sports. And got an opportunity to work as like a part-time salesperson at a sports card shop. And unfortunately, the person I worked for decided that he was going to abuse me mentally as well as sexually.
Wow.
And so when I was 13 or 14, I got to go through that as kind of like a big hurdle in my life. But it's made me the person I am today, right?
Yeah.
Like I can sit there and be angry, and I'm not saying I wasn't angry or
Right.
there's a lot of hurt, but at the end of the day, like it made me much more compassionate, empathetic. Like we talked about before that we got started here today. Like we don't know what other people are going through.
Absolutely.
You only see like what we see on the outside. Everybody's got a story. Everybody's got something to share. And I think at the end of the day, like you can't give what you don't have. So I love the what you're doing with the podcast and, getting people on to kind of share. And hopefully, again, if this resonates with one person, like God's using me to help one person, right?
Yep.
And it can be his vessel. So that's super important to me.